This is ACDN, and this is the importance of wildfires. First of all, wildfires cost, just to prevent and rebuild, about more than $1 billion a year.
339,000 people die every year along with their homes due to forest fires.
Animal habitats are destroyed by wildfires every year. Notorious blazes kill thousands of animals every year in the U.S.
46 to 58 million acres are burned a year by forest fires. Forests produce oxygen, so there will be an increase in CO2 and decrease in oxygen from forest fires.
A picture's worth 1,000 words. Let's get on to the graphs.
In this first graph, it has the years and the acres that the wildfires has damaged. And in 1985, it was only around 45, but in 2005, it got all the way up to around 125 acres. And that's a large improvement from 1985 to 2005 in only 20 years. And in this second graph, in 1920, the number of fires was pretty low, and then all the way into 2000, the fires increased a lot.
And here you can see the amount of homes that are at risk of fires. Texas, California, and Oregon, as well as Colorado, seem to be the ones who are at the most risk of fires.
So this is why we're worried about wildfires. Fire is a natural part of our environment. It's something that we can't control because it's one of the 4 elements. People are living in the fire environment, and many homes are built. So a way to prevent it is to stop building in really hazardous locations. With more people using our wildlands, there's a greater chance of fire starters because there's a lot of things like matches that humans created, so we can't really blame the environment on it if we're the ones starting it. Today's wildfires can burn intensely and be difficult to control, just like the one in Canada that happened recently and the one in 1871 in Chicago. All of these added up create a potential for a greater loss of life, increased property losses, more damage to natural resources, and more money needed for firefighting.
As you can see by this graph here, the federal trend is going up, as well as the general cost of suppressing the fires. It seems as though the costs increase with the more fires, which makes sense. And the states keep spending more and more and more and more and more to suppress the fires, which could all have been avoided if they just simply didn't build in the fire areas.
Chloe, can you tell us ways to prevent forest fires?
Well, first of all, don't ever leave a fire unattended. And when you are ready to put out a fire, make sure that it's fully out. Also, never start a fire in an area where there's been a drought or little rain or there's a very high temperature that season. And just make sure that if anything does catch fire, call 911 right away.
What are some possible engineering solutions for forest fires?
Some things that we can do to prevent them. From UCSUSA.org, they say to reduce exposure to wildlife risk, development patterns and zoning policies should limit further building of homes in high-risk areas. From solutions to help reduce wildfire risks and costs, if we don't give a location any foundation to supply the heat, then it can prevent forest fires. Just building preventions and just keeping places well fertilized so that there's nothing that it can hold on to that's dry.
What forest fire was so bad that you had to start making solutions?
From ESI.org, the Great Chicago Fire, the notorious blaze that killed more than 250 people, left 100,000 homeless, destroyed more than 17,400 week-long structures, and burned more than 2,000 on October 8th and 9th in 1871.
So, what human activities are involved in wildfires?
Well, humans cause 90% of the wildfires because of campfires that are left unattended, burning of debris, discarded cigarettes, and intentional acts of arson, and then only 10% is caused by natural effects like lightning and lava.
And how does global warming fit into all of this?
Well, as Dr. Amanda Stroud of National Wildfire Federation says, global warming can explain part of this trend. Higher temperatures have led to longer fire seasons, drier conditions, and more lightning strikes to ignite fires. Plus, warmer conditions favor widespread insect infestations that leave broad ranges of dead and highly combustible trees. So, because of global warming and how humans affect global warming through the CO2 levels from factories and cars, there are higher temperatures which cause more fires.
What can we do as a society to help prevent forest fires?
Well, people can start lighting their fires away from any heavy vegetation. You have to make sure that you don't burn any fires in windy weather. You should make sure that your cars and trucks have a proper exhaust system. And you should always know your local emergency telephone number for any outrageous forest fires. Which of the natural processes have the biggest impact on forest fires?
Well, I would say that the natural cause that has the biggest impact on forest fires would probably be the lava in places like Hawaii, because not only does it burn down things, but it also causes extremely high temperatures. So it kind of combines two of the natural processes at the same time.
High-tech firefighting tools like satellite imagery, fire behavior modeling, fire retardant materials, and water delivery systems continue to improve. But the most crucial elements are still wildland firefighters and hand tools. A Pulaski features an axe blade and narrow trenching blade fitted to a straight handle. It's useful for grubbing, trenching, and chopping while creating fire lines. All wildland firefighters wear fire-resistant clothing made of a special high-strength synthetic material known as Nomex. A collapsible bucket slung below a helicopter used to dip water from a variety of water sources like a nearby river or lake to drop on the fire.
Cut.